Good afternoon. We're back in the Pratte Pack gym. You know, a lot of you have said many times, what is it with you in the automobile industry? Why do you love it so much? Obviously wearing it on my shirt today. It's because it really has been the backbone of America since the first industrial age. And truly, a hero of mine made a living selling cars. And that's where my first love as far as the automobile industry began many years ago. His name, Bango, Emmerich Bango. He, of course, the son of my late grandfather of the same name. I found out literally moments ago from my sister Janine that my uncle has passed away. Now, look, he lived an incredible life. That man had more lives than Morris the cat. When they were ready to count him out, he always found a way to rise to the occasion and to get back into this thing called life. Well into his 9th decade, recently celebrating his 93rd birthday on August the 16th. He'd made his home in freedom in the last couple of years, and it's kind of ironic, that's where the legend of his father, Emmerich Bango, began when they used to have a main street in that town many years ago. He had what you would call a junk store, kind of like trash and treasure. You know, one man's trash, another man's treasure. But they both had something that I have been blessed to get, as have some of my children. It's called the Italian gift of gab. We were always able to make sense of anything, and we could sell just about anything too. Yeah, I wasn't the best in the classroom, but I was the best at putting sentences together and making people want to be a part of my team. I was always on his team, and he was kind of like a father to me as a very young child, because my dad worked incredible hours, and when he would come home, it was time to go to bed because he was up long before the sun would come up. So my mother, Eva's only brother, has passed away, the last of that Bango family that lived on Deer Lane in Rochester. It hasn't really hit me yet, so I wanted to make sure that I took time and did this now before I do become a little bit emotional, because it is the end of an era. And I know his children are going to miss him a whole lot too. Yeah, he could tell a story, there's no doubt, but he could also make you feel as though you were familiar, you were family, and he just would always make anything, even a funeral, brighter, because he always had a way of breaking the ice. You know, for all of these people that your Pratte Pack knew many years ago, holding their hand in difficult situations, hugging, kissing, and looking for reassurance, that's about it. This book has come to an end. And every single time that I make a trip to a place like St. Cecilia Cemetery, and I talk to my good friend John Diagardi about Rome Monument and his father Vince Diagardi, it makes me understand even more how precious life is. So to all of you out there who are fortunate to still have family members, extended family members, please reach out that we're connected to your parents or grandparents, because now that my sisters and I and our children stand alone under our family crest, it's a overwhelming, sometimes surreal feeling, because this is the last stop for us. So our mission would be what they would tell us to do as they did for us, passing on traditions and telling stories about family members who paved the way long before we became a part of this earth. All I can say, from the deals he made in the automobile industry, from the many days that he would sit at D'Angelo's Donuts with a napkin and pencil in hand and do deals that even Warren Buffett would be proud of, or those cups of coffee that he enjoyed with many people, even my friend Danny Clark at the Brighton Hot Dog Shop in Rochester, his stories will live on forever, even though he has passed away after a rich life. And I have to believe my children, my oldest son, Tyler, his middle name Emmerich, named of course after my uncle and grandfather, somewhere, somehow, some way in his life, and my children Robbie and Eva's life, obviously Eva, my mother's namesake, they're going to be somewhere, and someone's going to say, hey, by the way, I knew someone by the name of Emmerich Bango. Any relation? Because I heard his sister, Eva, was a Pratte. And when they reply, absolutely, that was my great uncle, they're going to say, boy, do I have a story for you. But this one really does have a happy ending. Good night, Uncle Rick. Rest well, and thank you for supporting me throughout these many years. I hope I made you proud. Good afternoon from the Pratte Gym.